Hello YouTube, Goddard Radio Moscow here again with another beer review for you, as is usual. So for this one we're going to do another Brewdog beer. We're rattling through my Brewdog stockpile that I've accumulated here. But we're going to do another beer in the Hello My Name Is series from Brewdog, which is a series of double IPAs with different berry infusions. So the one we're going to do today is the newest in this range, which is the Hello My Name Is Päivi. So this guy is done with Finnish Sea Buckthorn Berries. These berries tend to grow a little bit around the edge of the Finnish coast, if you like. So they're apparently meant to give you a nice sort of tart flavour in the beer. So we will see what that's like in the taste, I'm sure. But the other ones in this series have been, the original one was the Hello, My Name Is Ingrid, which I believe was an exclusive for the Swedish market when they opened up their Stockholm bar. There was the Hello, My Name Is Mette Marit, which was named after the Norwegian Crown Prince. There was also the Hello, My Name Is Vladimir and the Hello My Name Is Sonia, and I will review the Hello My Name Is Sonia for you just in a few reviews time. Actually, I'm just going to do my first Evil Twin Brewing one. That beer was a collaboration, of course. But as is usual then with my beer reviews, just before we go into the tasting, I'll take you through a very short history of the Brewdog Brewery. It will only be about 2 minutes because I've done a number of Brewdog beer reviews for you before. But as always, if you are simply just interested in the tasting of this beer, then feel free to fast forward towards the latter part of the video or just a few minutes into the video and you will catch that particular segment. So anyway, Brewdog of course started back in 2007, so they're about 7 years old now, and their first brewery was in Fraserburgh in the very northeast corner of Scotland, right on the tip of the monster's nose. But despite starting on very, very small scale, they're now pretty much the flag carriers of Scottish craft brewing. You can get their beers all over the world these days. I believe North America, South America, I think over in Australia, New Zealand too, South Africa, and pretty much all throughout Europe. Just go to your local sort of specialist beer shop if you like. But these guys actually, very recently in 2012 they moved down to their brand new purpose-built facility in Ellon in Aberdeenshire, and what's really cool about these guys is that they are sort of a very experimental brewery, and pretty much, you know, any style of beer you can think of, they will have done it at some point in their history. And they even have beers where you can actually go and vote on Twitter for what kind of for what beer you want it to be. And this is another instance of where they listen to their fans. Actually, they put up a vote where you could actually vote for the name. They said they wanted to do another Hello My Name Is beer, and people, I believe, went on Twitter and actually voted for the name Päivi from Finland. I don't know if it was restricted to just Finnish people that could vote for this, but they said it had to be a Finnish name, I'm sure. But they are very cool in that sense. They do listen to their fans, and you can actually buy into the brewery through the Equity for Punks scheme. And essentially what happens there is you buy a share in the brewery, and for different levels of investment you will actually get a higher level of discount in the brewery shop and in the bars and things like that. So very, very cool way of doing things. And these guys are, what's really cool about them is they brew a lot of experimental beer, as I say, but the only downside to it is that they only brew some of these beers once, and I think this is a one-off brew, so buy it up quickly while you can. But these guys have got a hell of a lot of brew bars or brew pubs all over the place these days. The first one opened in Aberdeen, which is their home bar in Scotland in 2010. In 2010, sorry. In 2011 they expanded down to Edinburgh and Glasgow, and their first bar in England, and then since then they've obviously expanded to pretty much every major city in England. They have 2 sites in Sweden, which is Stockholm and Gothenburg. There's a new one in Roppongi in Japan. There's one in Firenze in Italy that's just opened too, and also one down in Sao Paulo in Brazil. And they will be expanding into Paris, Brussels, Berlin, and also some American states and Canadian provinces. And I believe they are actually looking down at New Zealand and Australia as well. So some very good times ahead for this brew, and as I say, pretty much the flag carriers of Scottish craft brewing these days, and they are expanding their facility that they have at Ellon, which is they always stick to actually brewing in small batches, so they are sort of just expanding this facility so they can brew more batches of beer rather than sort of expanding how big their tanks are and stuff. So a very, very cool brewery, and there will be a visitor centre opens in the next little while, so keep an eye on the brewery website for that. It's in the video description for you below. But anyway, let's actually get on to the point about this beer here. This guy is an 8.2% imperial or double IPA, as I explained to you a minute ago. And as I mentioned to you, the beer is the latest in the Hello My Name Is series, which is a sort of a series of berry infused double IPAs. And this time they're using the Sea Buckthorn Berries, which grow around the Finnish coastline. And the name for this one was actually voted for by the Finnish fans of the brewery, as I said to you. And these berries actually can also be referred to as sandthorn, sallowthorn, and also sea berries too. And if you're talking about the science behind it, they come from the family Elaeagnacea, which is, I'm not sure if my Latin pronunciation's right there, but if you are a biologist, I apologise for that. And apparently there's 7 different species within this family, but scientists say that 2 of these are actually hybrid, and these berries are native throughout Europe and Central Asia, although obviously the different species of these berries do differ depending on what area you're talking about there. Look them up on Wikipedia actually if you're interested there. But the guy, as I say, there's an 8.2% Imperial double IPA. It's hopped with Bravo, Challenger, Centennial, Citra, Comet, Equinox and Simcoe hops, and it has a malt base of caramalts and paleo. It's a nice blend of that, and as I say, the twist is the sea buckthorn berry infusion here. So I'll just read out the little blurb on this one for you as I usually do. It says, for our Finnish friends we brewed this beer, an 8.2% double IPA blanching rich sweet malts with our customary Nordic grape hop hold, then lifted by a tart whirl of sea buckthorn berries. Hello, my name is Päivi. Live life with Catkero in your beer, not bitterness in your heart. With fragrant disregard for the health of our eardrums, we switched on the sound system and cranked it right up in the brewery while smashing in. Hello, my name is Päivi. I will slay your taste buds with tart, sharp sea buckthorn. I'll take a 7-string axe to your palate with a chariot of hardcore hops, as I read out to you a second ago. I will haunt your dreams with rich toffee malt, impale your heart on a dagger of 6-row barley. Finland, we salute you. And I will agree with that. Finland is a very cool country actually. Hopefully I can make it over there someday. But I'll just bring up the camera quickly, let you have a little look at the artwork on this one. It's the standard Brewdog artwork here, as I've mentioned to you. The crest on the beers that aren't in the 4-packs is up on this sort of top right hand corner there. As you can see, it's 8.2% there. If you flick the bottle around, you will see, oh sorry, that's the wrong way, you will see the blurb on the bottle there. I like to read those out to you in my beer reviews, and it's the standard white with blue dog on the cap on this one. So without further ado, let us get this guy open, and this is a 330ml bottle, just in case any of you are wondering. So as you can see, a nice smoky opening there, a bit of carbonation just rushing to the tip of the bottle there. I actually can't remember how this guy compares to the ABV and the other beers in this Hello My Name Is series. I think they all actually are usually quite strong. You can really smell that unique character of the berries. They are very, very sweet actually, which is really cool. But let me just bring up the camera and we can have a little look at the colour of the beer and stuff for this one. So it's very clear actually. Most of Brewdog's beers I've found recently have been quite hazy, but if I stick my fingers behind it, there is a level of transparency there. I think that's condensation around the glass that's making you not see it, rather than it being opaque or whatever. It might just be a slight level of opaqueness, but I think it mainly is transparent. There's a solid half finger of a white frothy head there, but that's going to go down to just a thin sort of foamy layer. But it's a really nice sort of bright orangey amber colour there actually, a very attractive looking beer, just a tiny little bit of carbonation heading up to the top there, and I think there is maybe just a little suspension of sediment just going throughout the beer, but it looks very, very nice anyway. So I'll just stick the light back down there, but let's give it a smell and see how we get on here. But there's definitely a sort of aura of grapefruit in this beer. Grapefruit and pine needles kind of sticking out there. But you do smell the unique character of this sea buckthorn berry in there. That's quite prominent in it actually, and when you pour the beer you get a nice freshness that comes out with that. But nice piney resin, some orangey citrus in there too. It's quite sharp actually, the orange citrus. Maybe more tangerines than oranges, to be honest. But there's a little bit of grassy character to it too. But as I say, the most prominent parts of this beer, there is the pine needles underlying, but there's a good bit of grapefruit sticking out, and you've also got that blending quite nicely with this sort of sea buckthorn aroma. I'm trying to remember, there's these sweets that you actually get in Germany, and it's the Haribo Smurfs, and the smell of them actually reminds me of the taste of that, if that makes sense. It's a very, very unique sort of aroma on this one. So definitely, if you get the chance, I really don't know how quite to describe that to you. It smells, it's quite, the fruity smell is quite gardeny, but it reminds me of the taste of these sort of kind of blueberry flavoured Smurf sweets that they have in Germany and Holland and stuff, the Haribo ones. I don't know if you actually get them in Scotland. I'll need to look for that, but there's a very unique fruity character to this one, and the beer doesn't actually smell all that tart, as they say actually. Or I'm not sure if that's how you would describe tart with this kind of sea buckthorn berries. But a very nice smelling beer anyway. Just take a little while to get used to the smell of this one. When you swirl it up, that's when you're starting to get more of the malt-based flavours coming out on this one. But let's give it a taste and see how we get on. So this is the Hello, my name is Päivi. A salute to Finland for this beer. The berries, these sea buckthorns, are coming out more in the aftertaste of this one, actually. Yeah, you're getting the sea buckthorns are coming out. The beer goes into the mouth and then it becomes the mouthfeel becomes sort of wetter, and that's exactly when you're getting these kind of nice. I can see what they're saying about tart flavours now. It comes out as a tart sort of flavour, just right in the back of the tongue. You've got a little split down the middle on the edge there, and you just get this nice sort of tarty flavour just on either side of the tongue there. Really nice. But yeah, it's typically very hoppy, as you would expect from Brewdog. The fruit flavours from the hops are actually really quite intense in this one. There's a lot of grapefruit in there with the pine resin. The pine resin underlying in this one is very strong. And as I say, the sea buckthorns are just coming out on the sort of, once you get past the initial hop blast of the beer. They're actually quite subtly done, but they're done very nicely. They blend very well with the rest of the flavour. But yeah, you've got some really nice grapefruit flavours in there. There is perhaps just a little bit of orange, but very, very subdued in my opinion with this one. But yeah, these buckthorn flavours are definitely coming out and just sitting right at the back of the tongue. You do have quite a little bit of freshness just around the edge and that of your tongue, and that's kind of where there's maybe just a teeny tiny little bit of a kind of aromatic-y character coming out from the hops. Maybe just a little hint of grassiness, but very fresh. And the pine resin's the one that's sort of edging towards the edge of your tongue there. But yeah, if you sort of just swallow it and try and keep a little tiny bit on your tongue, you actually feel just a little bit of this buckthorn flavour going up to the top of your mouth as well. It's a very unique fruit, and I actually don't know quite how to describe it for you, but I can see what they're meaning with this tart flavour. I've never tried buckthorns before. I really need to actually try these things before I try these beers, but it's a very unique flavour. And the double IPA is essentially the same sort of feel as the hardcore, but it has this really nice infusion of these buckthorn berries to it. But you've got a nice sort of caramel sweetness in there. To me, the caramel flavours actually seem quite dark, and they do blend quite well with the sort of pine resin flavour. They do bring that out quite well, and then just on top of it, you've got this nice, really sweet, tarty buckthorn berry flavour, which is really, really nice. There's not much more you can say for this beer. I mean, it's very well blended together, and it's very nicely done. There's perhaps maybe just a little bit of nutty flavour in this too, but the bitterness and the buckthorn berries are staying with this into the aftertaste. The aftertaste is definitely a mix of grapefruit, pine resin. The buckthorn berries are just sitting sort of on the top of the mouth, if you like, and then you've just got a little bit, I think you have just a little bit of caramel in there too. The caramel, I think, in here is kind of quite dark a little bit, and it just has a little bit of nutty character to it, which probably makes it seem a little bit darker. It's not sweet caramel as I've seen in some of the single hop IPAs, but maybe it's the blend of hops that does that. But it's a really nice beer nonetheless. You won't be disappointed with this one, certainly not. With the mouthfeel here, definitely mid to full bodied. It's got a nice oily mouthfeel, which I always really like when it comes to a double or imperial IPA. Very nicely done. It's just quite a soft carbonation, smooth feel to this one as well, and there is a good little hint of the alcohol warmth in there too. And that's actually probably what's kind of made the beer does taste quite strong, but I think it kind of it's the alcohol warmth is kind of what makes the beer sort of blend together so well, perhaps. The alcohol warmth, when you take this beer in, you just feel the oily mouthfeel is what helps bring out that buckthorn flavour just on the tongue. Just keep an eye on that and keep that in mind if you are trying this beer. I really think that's what's kind of coming out here, but the alcohol warmth works really well in this beer. As I say, it helps bring out the buckthorn flavour, and it probably does make the caramel actually taste that little bit darker and nutty. But overall, you know, this is a really, really nice double IPA from Brewdog. I really like the Hello My Name Is series, and hopefully I'll get to review more of these for you in the future. But it's a very interesting double IPA, and it's a very interesting fruit blend with this one. As far as I know, this is the first time that they've sort of used some of the hops that they put in this beer. Don't quote me on that, but some of these hops, as I'm saying, that they've put into this thing are quite unique. There was 7 of them in there. I mean, I've never heard of them using Equinox hops before. That must be a new hop for them. I don't think they've ever used that in any of their beers. So perhaps that's adding a little bit to the flavours of the buckthorn berries, but I would just be speculating there. But overall, it's a really, really nice beer with a really nice, interesting little fruit twist. It's got a similar feel to Hardcore IPA. The caramel in this one, I would say, though, isn't quite as sweet as you'll get in Hardcore, but it's got a really nice, interesting fruit blend. But this one is definitely more of a sipping beer. You know, if you get one of these, just sit and sip it and enjoy the flavours of this one. Very, very unique in that sense. But a really beautiful beer, and it's another great addition to this Hello My Name Is series. But anyway, I hope you found this beer review informative and that you've enjoyed it. So if you have, please subscribe to the channel. If you're interested particularly in Brewdog beer, there will be more Brewdog beers to follow over the next little while. That'll include the Hello My Name Is Sonia, the Shipwrecker Circus, and I think I've also got the IPA is Dead 2014 range to review for you. A few Paradox beers and some other ones that I've kept for special occasions too, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. As always, if you have tried this beer yourself, please let me know in the comments section your own thoughts on this one. I think this is a really nice beer, as I've said to you. Basically a fruit infused hardcore IPA, but with some really nice little twist to it. But please, as usual, like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this beer review, and I will catch you soon with another one. Cheers.